Hello and welcome to another episode of English with Shinrai Sensei in our Better Together series at Better at English. Now, today I'm going to go over some basics of the alphabet with you and kind of give you an idea for some easier spelling tips, right? So, I have blue letters and I have red letters up there, right? Now, the red letters, all five of them, are what we call vowels, right? Now the vowels are A, E, I, O, U. And we will go over in another episode the vowels a little bit more in depth, right? But for today, we're just going to go and we're going to do an exercise that you guys can work along with me. And it'll be kind of like the game that we play in elementary called Hangman. But in this case, it's just you guys will be trying to guess what the word is based on what I have hinted written up here, right? All right, so the vowels are in red and the letters that are in blue are called consonants. Now, consonants are what many people would call the skeleton of a word, right? So the consonant makes up the majority of most words. So you'll have almost every word's going to have more consonants than vowels. Vowels, because they're rarer in the English language, they're very rare. You will have more consonants simply by virtue of them being a much more numerous letter. However, there are no words in the English language that do not contain a vowel. There are no words that are just made up of consonants in the English language, outside of maybe some very crazy examples that are usually going to be like some names of some weird places that you'll see in probably like Wales. Let's be honest. Wales has some very strange names and they have a lot of consonants. And there's also 50-50 with a lot of people whether or not they classify Y as a consonant. So I'm going to put a little green question mark beneath Y, because Y is a consonant that wants to be a vowel. So, and Y is used in a lot of places that you would expect to find vowels. So some people make an argument for Y being a vowel. Some people make an argument for Y being a consonant. Meanwhile, Y just does whatever it wants to do. But I digress. Getting back to the point at hand. So we'll go over in depth, I think in the next episode more so. This is just to kind of get you an introduction into spelling. But I think I'll do a proper ABC video in the next episode. So for today, we're going to show that, see how consonants make up the majority of words and vowels just fill in the gaps. And oftentimes, especially with shorter words, you will have, if you just have two consonants on either end, like I have some examples here, you'll have multiple vowels that will fit in between those two consonants. So we'll go ahead and we'll hop right into some of these examples of plugging some of these red letters into these red spaces I've got using a green marker. Might be a little confusing, so stick with me though. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to substitute some of these vowels into this red spaces for the vowels that I have written up here. And we will also work on giving you guys an introduction to one concept that's important for the last one, which is going to be brought up on the last word that I have an example of. Okay, so first we have the letters C and T. And I'm not sure you can actually see that because of the glare. So, but you can see it kind of now. So C, red space, T. I know I have to move my hand for you guys to be able to see that with the glare. I have yet to put up those curtains. But C with a space in between it and T. Let's see if I can get a better angle. That's a much better angle for that. There we go. All right. Now you guys don't have as much glare on them. And you can see pretty much all the examples I have written up there. All right? So, now, C space T. Well, pretty much every, like 3 out of 5 vowels make a word with C at the beginning and T at the end, right? So, I mean, you could put A, you could put O, and you could put U. But for now, we'll just do A and O. So, cat and cot. And for those of you who don't know, a cot is a sleeping, it's basically just like a folding mattress, not really a mattress, but a folding platform for you to lay down on when you're camping. Most often when you're camping. Some people use it in like their houses too. So, but cat or cot or cut, that's another one. And then once again, you know, D with a G at the end. The space in the middle could be I, O, or U. And I'm sure dag might be a word too. Not sure about deg though. But in this case, it's dog, which is O, right? So once again, you have a skeleton of a word, and you can just substitute letters in, and you can create a lot of words. It's actually really surprising how versatile the 3-letter words are. How many 3-letter words you can come up with just, you know, like I said, a consonant at either end and a vowel in the middle. There are so many words that are just, that's all they are. So it's actually kind of neat. And then B at the beginning, T at the end. Well, you can have an O there. You can have a I there. You can have an E there. You can have an A there. Every single letter works there. Every single vowel works there. So I could put any one of these there. And in this case, we're going to do A and E for bat and bet. Right? But there's a bit, which is usually like a drill bit. You have bot, which is, you know, usually a shorthand term for robots. You have but, which is usually used in sentences when you're trying to, you know, contrast something. Both of those work. And all 5 vowels can be substituted between B and T, right? Okay, so now we're going to get into some more complex words on this side, which I will move the camera slightly this way so that you guys can, pardon me, so that you guys can see this a little bit clearer. And we don't need this side as much anymore. So, this word is, honestly, you can just look at it, and if you're familiar with English and you're just watching this channel, maybe to get some tips and tricks, you can usually, if you're already familiar with English, you can usually guess what words are up there when you just see their consonants. So in this case, it's double. And double is spelled D-O-U-B-L-E. Right? And that's double. Now, trouble is the next word, which is T-R-O-U-B-L-E. Right? Once again, you really can see the word. You can definitely see what word it is, usually, if you're somewhat familiar with reading in English, right? You'll be able to see these words ahead of time. And once again, I'll before the end of this video, I will demonstrate to you guys what the game we called Hangman was. When I was in school, we used to play a game called Hangman. Not sure if they still call it that or if they still even play it, but Hangman is a very good game for learning to spell. Yeah, it's a very good game for learning to spell and learning words and vocabulary. You can play it with just grab a dictionary and go, and you and your friends can have a good time with it, right? But going back to the examples I have written on the board here. So this word is hot dog, and O fits in both of these spaces. HOTDOG. Pardon me. Now, the next word, pardon me again, is home, right? And home, HOME. Let me make a better O than that. HOME, right? And then the last word is friend, right? And that's where this rule comes into effect. So the two vowels that are going to be in there are going to be I and E. This rule, I before E except after C, with very many exceptions, mind you. There are a lot of exceptions to that rule. So don't treat that rule as an absolute, but more often than not, you will find that I before E except after C works for the majority of cases. Pardon me. So friend is I, E in the middle. So FRIEND. Sorry for walking in front of the camera. I'm not trying to obstruct you guys' view. I'm not visible on that side, so I prefer to come over here. So there's some examples, and this is kind of a simpler version of Hangman where I can't necessarily play because it requires a level of interactivity that we really can't do with just pre-recorded videos. But I will go ahead and I will demonstrate to you guys what Hangman is since you're here. So, Hangman is a game that we always played when I was growing up on the boards of the classroom. We would always play, and you just write out however many spaces the word is. So, like I said, you can always just grab your dictionary and open it to a random page, right? And then I pick a word. And I write out however many spaces that word is, right? In this case, I just so happen to pick a very long word. And then you draw the gallows. Now, it's kind of like, Wheel of Fortune. If you've ever watched the game show Wheel of Fortune, Hangman is very comparable to Wheel of Fortune, right? So you spin for an opportunity to guess, but in this case, it's more, you're not getting a reward for getting the right guess. You're just not being punished for guessing wrong. Okay? So there's no reward necessarily for guessing right until the end of the game. It is just a punishment for guessing wrong. Okay? But it's mostly to help you with your spelling, right? So in this case, let's say I'm playing and whoever's the judge. Well, I say the letter O. Well, now I've got, and once again, I would recommend keeping your dictionary on you and open. So I say the letter O. 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 Right? Then I say E. E. Then I say I. I. Then I say A. And then I say Q. Well, Q's not right, so then Q goes over here, and you get the head of the stick man. Right? You get as many guesses wrong as they want to do details on the stick man. So in this case, I should probably give a lot more guesses, but we're not going to go with that. Then I say L. Well, that's not right. So then you got the body. Then I say U. And that's not right. So then I got a leg. D. That's not right. So I get another leg. Then I say T. And then I say Z. Well, that's not right, so I get an arm. And then I say F. And that's not right, and game over, right? So really you get 6 guesses altogether if you play it super easy. Some people might play it a little bit longer because they want to make the game a little more challenging with longer words. Some people might play it shorter and do just the 6, right? Oh, and in case you're wondering, it's onomatopoeia is the word. And yes, it is a very weird word, right? I'm not even 100% sure. Yeah. Onomatopoeia. So don't worry about learning that word, okay? It's not really necessary for what you guys need. It's just, honestly, I mean, growing up, I honestly just heard that word being thrown around for joke purposes. But yeah, that's the basics of Hangman. There's introduction to consonants and vowels. And let me go ahead and erase that so that it's not going to be a thumbnail on YouTube or something like that. But yeah, so vowels and consonants, and we'll get a little bit more into our ABCs next week. If you guys have any specific questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section or post them on my Twitter at ShinraiSensei15. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for making this all worth it.